are supposed to trust the ones you love, but sometimes they're the most dangerous. This is Melody Feliciano Johnson. She's seen here pouring bleach into her Air Force husband's coffee maker. She seemingly really wants that life insurance money. The husband started noticing his coffee tasting strange, so he began to investigate.
Whatever's in there is a lot of it. Let's pull that.
He would eventually hand over all of the evidence, and Melody was arrested for attempted homicide.
Bullshit, always, man. Move next time, nigga.
Hello?
Hey, can we talk for a sec?
Yeah, I guess. What's up?
I know we've been through our ups and downs, but I still really have feelings for you.
You're joking.
You know,
What
like,
am I just supposed to overlook the fact that you fucked my dad? Fuck you.
Colorado amusement park, a man armed with guns, explosives, and a tactical vest found dead there over the weekend. Tom Costello with more on the investigation.
It happened at the Glenwood Cameron's Adventure Park in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, about 40 miles from Aspen. The Garfield County Sheriff says park employees discovered the body of a 20-year-old man in the ladies' restroom as they prepared to open on Saturday. The unidentified man died by suicide, found on the floor dressed in a helmet, black tactical clothing, and body armor with patches and emblems, armed with real and fake semi-automatic rifles and handguns, including ghost guns, loaded magazines, and IEDs or explosives, both real and fake. On the stall door, he'd apparently written, "I am not a killer."
Although he was very highly prepared, very highly weaponized, he chose not to take advantage of any of that, whatever his preparation was. We are, to say the least, extremely lucky that he did not fulfill whatever plan he may have intentioned.
The FBI and a nearby bomb squad searched the park and the suspect's home for any other explosives. Investigators say the suspect had no criminal history.
There was nothing to indicate any type of warning or any type of concern on the part of family, friends, school, what have you.
The discovery came just hours after a 40-year-old shooter was discovered in Maine Friday night. He's suspected of murdering 18 people at 2 crime scenes before dying by suicide. The sheriff in Colorado says teams have combed the park property and the rides to ensure they're safe as they search for clues about what the suspect's motivations might have been. Lester?
All right, thanks for watching. Stay up.
We begin with that major update in the hit and run in San Jose. A pregnant preschool teacher was killed, and now a teenager has been arrested. NBC's Ian Cull has the very latest.
Tonight, San Jose police say the driver responsible for smashing into a car and killing 21-year-old April Zoglauer has been arrested. That suspect is a 15-year-old boy. Investigators allege he drove through a red light at this intersection near the Oak Ridge Mall, caused the crash, and then left. They also say the cameras at the intersection helped find him.
Our detectives took this extremely seriously and didn't sleep until they identified the suspect.
Because the alleged driver is a minor, police aren't releasing his name, but they say he had a criminal history and will face charges in juvenile court. A second suspect is still on the loose. Police say pictures and video after the crash were posted to social media.
So we ask, if you ever have any video surveillance, photos of any possible suspect, please just share that with the police department, because if you share it on social media, it takes a long time for us to try to be able to figure out whether or not they're credible images and whether or not they actually are associated to our crime.
April Zoglauer died at the hospital Tuesday. She was 8 months pregnant with her son, Devontae, and was getting ready for his birth. Doctors were able to deliver him, but he died a day later. Today, there's an emptiness and grief at the preschool where April was a teacher.
We just really miss her. You know, it's really hard. I used to call her to come watch the desk if I had to run off to go do something. I still call her name. She was huge around this entire school.
Tammy Larez, who runs the preschool, says April was like a daughter to her and lived with her and her girls.
My heart hurts. It was sad to hear it was a 15-year-old child. So another family, I feel, is having a loss just like we are.
She says the community support has been overwhelming.
Not only those close to us, but others out in the community. So many have reached out with so much love, and it has been very healing.
Friends and family would have been planning for April to give birth. Now, instead, they're planning for her and Devontae's funeral.
This morning, Hanan Shaheen devastated, confronting any mother's worst nightmare. Her loving 6-year-old son, Wadia El Fayumi, brutally killed.
The world now knows his name, knows his story. What do you want to come of that?
Yes, I will say pray for peace.
A call for peace from the 32-year-old heartbroken mother, speaking exclusively to ABC News alongside her attorney about the terrifying moment when police say her landlord, Joseph Chuba, came into her family's shared apartment in the suburbs of Chicago and viciously attacked her and killed little Wadia with a knife. Investigators saying they were targeted because they're Muslim.
Mom, how are you doing? I see you still have bandages.
I'm fine with a little bit pain, trying to take care of my health. I'm recovering.
71-year-old Chuba is behind bars, facing multiple charges, including first-degree murder, first-degree attempted murder, and 2 counts of committing a hate crime. The attack amid a heightened threat environment caused by the war between Israel and Hamas, especially in U.S. communities with ties to the region. Wadia laid to rest last week, loved ones shattered.
We're not in war. The war is overseas.
Shaheen now remembering her son as a bright light who loved learning about the solar system, soccer, and swings.
He loved kisses and hugs. He always, cannot say bye-bye without sending kiss. He loved to share his love. He loved all people.
How important is justice for you?
Yes, it's good to have justice because how can you live without justice? And how you will be in peace without justice?
Under the heading, you don't really know what's happening behind closed doors. A frightening example of that tonight in Queens.
At an abandoned house in the community of Belrose, a big-time drug dealer secretly in business and with an inventory of illegal drugs worth more than $10 million on the streets.
And rent for this business? Not a dime. Here's Joe Torres.
Yvonne Flores retreated to the comfort of her home after the mother of 3 shared the fears and anxieties of a dreadful reality. The abandoned house just 2 doors away served as the home base for a major drug trafficker.
It's terrible. It's terrible for me, for my family, that my son every day playing in the upside.
At her office this morning, Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz displayed just some of the confiscated drugs found in the 2-story house on 88th Road in Belrose, all with a street value of more than $10 million. There were 8 kilos of heroin, fentanyl, and cocaine, 1.5 million small envelopes filled with a mixture of those drugs. Investigators also found handguns, gun parts, and hundreds of rounds of ammunition.
We can't even begin to calculate how many lives would have been cut short, how many lives would have been ruined had these lethal narcotics and weapons hit the streets.
The police investigation into what happened here started with a tip. A contractor hired after the recent sale of the property came to the home and went inside for a look. And what did he see? Gun parts, firearms, drugs. He immediately called 911.
There's 2 daycares within that neighborhood. So when we look at all these drugs and the guns and everything on the table, there's not a amount of lives that we could talk about that will be saved.
Investigators captured video of Victor Rodriguez entering the home holding coolers apparently filled with kilos of drugs. Last Friday, police arrested the 43-year-old on multiple drug and gun charges. If convicted, he faces 25 years to life in.
You were witnessing a march of death. Police say Jason Pass had enough of the noise and went to confront his neighbor about it. At one point, surveillance video shows the victim's wife trying to pull him away, but he pulls a pair of scissors.
It was no match for a gun. The video is so disturbing, we are stopping it right when Pass allegedly pulls the trigger, killing the 47-year-old father and his 27-year-old son, right in the hallway of a building here in the Flatbush Gardens complex.
I shed tears, because the breadwinner is gone. The next to stand in line is gone. Senselessly. Why?
Paulette James also lives here. She tells us over 15 years, things have changed, with neighbors going from friends to enemies.
To go kill people, kill. You can't think about nothing else. What, just to kill people? Oh my God, that is not nice.
Pix 11 News has learned at least 6 311 calls were made by Pass since 2022, complaining about the noise coming from the upstairs apartment. His sister does not want to show her face on camera, but says it was more than just noise.
I'm just distraught. And it was an ongoing battle with them, of them harassing my family. And the management of where we are here in Flatbush Gardens, they are aware of everything.
Neighbors agree noise and other complaints are not isolated here, but nothing can justify this. Community leaders vow to help tenants deal with the grief and the trauma, also deal with everyday concerns.
We're trying to show tenants here how to deal with issues no matter what, and to keep it away from the emotional selves and more of a responding and not a responsive self.
Meantime, a message to the gunman.
For the person who did this, you need to turn yourself in. That's the best thing you can do for the family.
We also reached out to
Now to a subway assault in Flatbush, Brooklyn. Police are looking for the suspect who was wearing a Rick and Morty jacket and approached a 29-year-old man on a Q train platform at the Church Avenue station and punched him multiple times in the face. The victim fell and hit his head against a train that was leaving the station. He's now in the hospital with bleeding in the brain. A 20-year-old woman was brutally assaulted on the subway in Queens. Now police are looking for her attacker. Investigators released this photo of the woman they are searching for. It happened yesterday morning at about 9 o'clock in Jackson Heights. Police say the suspect bumped into the victim aboard a southbound 7 train. The two women got off on 74th Street, and that's when investigators say the suspect beat the pregnant woman over the head with a cell phone and kicked her in the stomach. She was treated at Elmhurst Hospital for minor injuries.
Teenager recovering this morning after being shot in front of a very popular, iconic restaurant in the theater district.
This happened last night, just after 10, in front of Sardi's. This is on 44th Street. Police say the 16-year-old boy was shot in the shoulder. He's taken to the hospital in stable condition. And police arrested 5 young men near that scene. But it appears only one of these suspects, an 18-year-old, will be charged. At this time, it is still unclear what led up to the shooting. This investigation is ongoing.
And is now charged with manslaughter as a hate crime in the road rage death of a 66-year-old Sikh man.
Police say Jasmer Singh was driving his wife home from a doctor's appointment when he got into a fender bender, and that sparked the deadly confrontation. News 4's Melissa Colorado in Kew Gardens tonight with what happened in court today, Melissa.
And Natalie, the victim's wife, watched this all unfold. Prosecutors say what started out as a fender bender escalated into a hate-fueled, brutal beatdown that led to the death of a 66-year-old Sikh man. Now the man accused of beating up and killing 66-year-old Jasmer Singh, he's now charged with hate crimes.
Inside a Queens courtroom packed with members of the Sikh community, Gilbert Augustin heard the upgraded charges filed against him: manslaughter and assault as hate crimes.
Why Sikhs? We are proud Americans, we are proud New Yorkers. Why we are being targeted? Please consider the safety of Sikh people.
Subeg Multani is mourning the loss of his father, 66-year-old Jasmer Singh, who was involved in a fender bender crash with Augustin back on October 19th on the Van Wyck Expressway. When the drivers got out to look at the damage, prosecutors allege Augustin told Singh no police and then called him Turban Man. Police say Augustin punched the 66-year-old 3 times in the head, knocking his turban off. Singh died the next day. Singh's wife, who was sitting in the passenger seat, saw everything. The two were preparing for a trip to India to see family.
Now she will have my father's ashes in her lap in the same flight. So we are in bad shape.
Prosecutors say Augustin was driving with a suspended license and did not have insurance. Augustin pleaded not guilty to the charges.
We want the peace, and I expect from the judge that justice will be served.
Multani says crimes against Sikhs don't get enough attention. He points to Uber driver Lakshvir Singh, who says he was attacked in Midtown 3 days ago by a group of men who punched him so hard he nearly lost sight in one eye.
Looks like to me we are living in third world country, or we are living back in 2001. No, this is 2023.